Fire. Fire. Episode 99. Woo. 99 Luftballons. Remember that? Remember Nena? She's the one who sang it. And then everybody said she died from eating Pop Rocks.
What?
I swear to God. A German lady. 99 Luftballons. I don't know. She'd sing in German. We all just watched it on MTV. We're like, that's awesome. And then balloons were everywhere. She kind of reminded me of Chrissy Hine if you mixed her and some other people. I think it was Nena, Nena. And then it was weird because she didn't seem German. That name didn't seem German. Nena. Anyway, 99. So many things, termites. So many things. Google Nena. See, and then I had to see if she was alive. Because then the old rumor that you could die from eating Pop Rocks.
Come on.
I'm serious. That's what went around. People said she was dead. See if she's alive. I think she's alive. Luftballons. 99 Luftballons.
Wow, she did not look German. Okay.
Is she alive?
Wait, I'm looking. Hang on.
This is episode 99. That's why we're celebrating with 99 Luftballons.
Oh!
See? No, you can't play that. We'll get sued. Stop it. Stop it.
Oh, let me sing this song for you about 99 balloons.
She was a great song. Is she alive? Oh, right. You go with that.
Is Nena
We are
alive?
moved just here. Is it Nena?
Yeah, Nena.
I know
Oh, yeah.
she's
She
alive.
sold 25 million records.
She sold 20 million, probably 25 million just of 99 lift-out balloons. I'll bet you.
She's a Pisces. Great.
She's alive? She is alive, right?
Yeah.
Here, let me see.
You don't trust
Did Nena eat Pop Rocks and die?
Oh, it's on Wikipedia, yeah.
Pop Rocks urban death. Mikey's death was by, who's Mikey?
Come on.
Well, that's what we heard in St. Louis and in the Ozarks. Now they're saying it was little Mikey, the guy who would eat anything, I think, from the Coke commercials. Girl dies from eating Pop Rocks and soda.
Nena means girl in Spanish.
I know it means, I know it's Spanish. That's why I thought she was Spanish.
Well, there's a whole lot
Nena.
we can go into.
It's, all right, termites, so many things. We're moving on. Welcome to episode 99. Last week, people asked where they liked this t-shirt, so I put it back on this week, and this is a bluegrass guy named Billy Strings. You can't really see, but it says Billy Strings. But if you go on his website, I love all of his t-shirts. Well, there's a few that get a little, there's like a dragon one. That's, I don't know. I feel like it should be at a Chinese restaurant, but the rest of them are really cool. Here's another one, and this is a small, in case you're thinking, how big does this stuff run? See, how fun is that? They're just like, they look like the 60s, I guess. And he's a hot, he's the hottest little bluegrass guy running around. Yeah. So there you go. That's where I got that shirt. You can go get my Pubcast shirts, which are not this exciting. Then I see this, and now I'm inspired. Maybe I'll hire this designer person.
We're not doing any more shirts until those sell out.
No more shirts till those sell out. Ooh, Paddles is drawing the job. But we're going to make something special for the Canadians. Yeah, and I'm not going to make any money. I don't give a shit. They've waited 4 years for me to make this. Well, 3 years they've waited and held on to those tickets. So guess what you guys get in Canada?
Shirts.
T-shirts.
Yeah.
Because I got to make them. I got to, I'll fly them up.
Probably.
Limited run. That's it, too. Only at the show. Well, if there's any left, I'll put them on the website. But, my feelings about merch. But I feel like the Canadians deserve, I never sell them at shows either, but I feel like the Canadians deserve a special shout out for, they've had to wait the longest for the show to be, for being kind and patient termites. And nobody complained, and nobody's like, honey, you hold my money. You hold my money. Like, I never had the money. No. Yeah, it's crazy. I got like $7 million in the bank, and I'm just never going to do those shows. Come on, people. Use your brains. Everybody's very mad at Bruce Springsteen for his ticket pricing. And I'm telling you, if you are Bruce and you're the working man of the people, you cannot let tickets go that high. You got to cap it.
Right.
They went to like $5,000. And speaking of which, Queen Queen Stevie Nicks is back out on tour in the fall. And truth be told, I mean, you guys know I'm a comedian, whatever. I can call for a favor if I need one, but I don't ever like to do that. I like to buy my own tickets. So just for fun, because I don't even know if I'll be able to see Stevie this next time just because of working and flying, and I don't know if I'd be back anywhere. But I got in the pre-sale queue, and I was waiting. I hate that word queue. Like, we're not British. We're line. It's a line. But I say it now because they say it on the thing. But I waited and waited, and it popped up, and I have a video of it. It said there were 2,000 people ahead of me. I mean, it's ridiculous. The whole system. I know rich people always beat the system no matter what. Even when we used to camp out for like Cardinal tickets, I knew rich people were sending people down there to camp. But still, you got to talk them into it. We camped all night, and we took turns drinking. We'd like 4 of us would stay at the camp, and then 4 of us would go down to the landing and drink, and then we'd switch out. So we made it a party. To get Cardinal tickets, yeah, if they were in the playoffs to World Series, which I don't want to brag, but it happened a lot. But right now, we're fighting for a wild card. That's why Colton Wong is out in front here, because Milwaukee is just destroying our hopes and dreams. That's okay, though, because I like Milwaukee, so it doesn't hurt me as bad as some other teams might. And I root for Colton, so it's a win-win. But I'd rather it be Cardinals. Yep. Anyway, good luck. My friend Kathy got tickets to see Stevie in Atlanta. Lawn seats. That's all that was left. Yeah. And I think those were like 180. Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Well, for anybody who would be interested, just because I was interested. So my friend Brian Dorff, who I golf with all the time, I tell you about. Brian's the ultimate knowledge man of shows and how they work. And he said, Maddie, because we always make fun of how cheesy Garth Brooks is. That's not to say I don't like the songs. Right. It's just his performances where he comes out and does the feigned, I can't believe there's 50,000 people here. Right. Why? You saw ticket counts. Right. We all do. I can tell you exactly how many people are going to be sitting there when I walk out on stage, unless you just don't read your emails. Right. But there's people telling you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yep. And I'm sure his just say sold out, sold out, sold out. But so we make fun of. I like Garth as a performer, and I love his wife's cooking show. And my only goal in life is to be on Trisha Yearwood's cooking show, mainly just because I want to eat the food she makes. I don't care about it's not. I don't even know what channel it's on. I put it on record, so it just records. The Food Network, yeah. But she seems fun, and I believe her because when somebody weighs like 80 pounds and then they cook this pasta thing, I'm like, you don't really eat that. You don't care about that. I can tell Trisha and Garth care. That's not to say anything other than what you think I'm saying.
Yeah, she drinks on the show.
Yeah, you get to have wine. Anyway, so here's how Garth Brooks keeps his tickets. He goes, Maddie, we can tease him in our, when we're teasing about his performances. And he puts on a great show. Mm-hmm. He said, no matter what, he is the actual man of the people. And I said, what do you mean? Why? And he said, all of his tickets stay around the same price, maybe the first couple rows or whatever. He said it's a basic supply and demand thing because Garth is always on the road, usually, and he'll do 10 shows in a city. As long as people keep buying tickets, he will keep adding shows. So then the scalpers and all those people, the ticket, it's $85 because there's going to be, everybody knows if you're a Garth person, he's going to add 3 more shows. And there's going to be, we have to fill, what does Nissan Stadium hold? 80,000 where the Titans play? They know they're going to get in. So Bruce Springsteen, Stevie, but now I give these people a break there. 69,000 and he sells it out like literally in 5 seconds. Yeah. But he'll add 20 shows. So I get it now. But Stevie, I mean, cut these people a break. She's 74. I don't know how old Bruce is. 76? I think Garth's more about my age. Like 20 years younger than that. How old is Bruce? Nobody cares. Bruce Springsteen.
72.
Is he 72? Yeah. Okay. Yep. So maybe they don't want to add a bunch of shows like Garth does. But
Garth is 60.
Garth is 60? Yep. I thought he was more my age. Trisha's 57. Yep. Well, good. An age-appropriate marriage. Who doesn't applaud that? Anywho. So that's how Garth keeps it all. Because people bitch to the performers, but there would be a thing you could do if you're Bruce Springsteen. you cap that dynamic pricing and you say, nay, nothing can go over. If it happens on the black market or somewhere sneaky, or you do what they do at Zany's. Only the person with the ticket, because Zany's, they were getting scalped. Like if somebody super popular was at the club, Brian was seeing him on stuff. But when you buy tickets for Zany's, you have to show up with the ID that purchased the tickets. Now, you may have killed that person and taken their ID and shown up, but that will be the last till you get caught for your murder. Yay, you stuck in a comedy show. But then I said, why don't they do that for big shows then? And he said, because nobody's equipped to check 69,000 people's driver's licenses. True that. Yeah.
It's the system. We all work within it.
It's the system. It just is too bad when tickets get... And some of the Stevie ones. I mean, I look just for shits and grins. The first row, $2,500. And you're not going alone. No. So you got to find somebody else that's got $2,500 extra dollars. Mm-hmm. And then you start thinking they're getting old. Something could happen. Maybe I should do it. You know, like I don't know. Like I've never seen Elton John. I want to see him before he hits it because he's quitting. Good for him. Anyway, so that's it. There's a T-shirt. That's what's happening. Stevie has added fall dates for 2022. There's probably still lawn seats available. I don't know. I didn't go back and check.
The lawn is fun.
The lawn's always fun. Nothing wrong with the lawn. I've sat in the lawn for a million shows, and it's absolutely fun. Speaking of shows, too, I went and saw my friend Corey Holcomb down at Zany's. He's so funny. Yeah, I mean, he's very offensive. And and I'd say that most of his fan base is black people, but I wish more white people could get on board. Yeah. But you just have to look at him like he's your crazy cousin that says things that are so offensive. But he's so likable. Right. It's just, he's the devil you want to go with, and you know you shouldn't. It's the devil. But he just, oh my God, he had me laughing so hard. And then there was a lady in front of me I was sitting back at the bar, a bar stool. She was in front of me on the bar rail that literally fell off her bar stool like 3 times to the point where Brian was like, shit, I'm going to get sued. I'm like, she's just laughing, Brian, but she's just like, you crazy, shut up, stop. And Corey just kept going and going. It was so funny. It was a great little night out. How do you know? I know Corey, well, we started in Cleveland. We didn't start in Cleveland, but I met him in Cleveland, and he was so funny, and I was headlining, and I'm like, I can't follow this, because he's a lot. I love it. I want to be the customer, but I don't want to be the comedian following it. So I said, can you just let him headline, and then he can have my money, and I'll take his money just for this week. I'll middle. And he was like, no, we ain't doing that. I go, I'm voting, we do. How many people are offering themselves up to take a pay cut and a credit cut? Yeah. This lady. Right. I want to be the middle, but anyway. I know, I'm a slacker. I don't want to work that hard. It's too hard. Plus, I wanted to enjoy Corey. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be watching the whole crowd go crazy and thinking, fuck, how am I going to deal with this? Anyway. And then we were on Last Comic. And then
you guys were on the same season?
We were on the same season, yeah. And he won a challenge to fly to Aspen on a private jet and then be part of the Aspen Comedy Festival, which was kind of ridiculous because we'd all already done that. I'm like, this isn't really a prize. It's just more work. But he got to pick anybody, and he picked me, and he goes, I'll never forget how nice you were to me in Cleveland. And then you made 3 other calls. Honestly, I don't remember that. I probably did because I think he's hilarious. He goes, you called Pittsburgh? He knew everything. Yeah. He goes, you called that guy, Dave in Columbus? He goes, I'm taking a little one. So he and I went to... I flew to Aspen. They put us in this big old house, and it's reality TV, so there's always a cameraman. But once you get out in the forest, it gets a little loosey goosey. He's like, "You think I can sleep out of here tonight?" I go, "Absolutely. Leave. I'll stay. I'll just say you're in the bathroom. You have diarrhea." And they can't go in there with the camera. I can't prove that he isn't in there, and you can't prove that he is in there. And I'll just shut the door and say, I don't know. It's bad diarrhea. He's been in there all night.
He's got 9 hours.
Yeah. So he got to go. I said, but you better not go sneaking around the comedy festival because then they're going to see that you're out and loose and we're not being monitored like fucking prisoners. Anyway, that's a long way to go for nothing. Termite news. So this lady, Kim, was at a garage sale. She said she never even heard Lake of the Ozarks, I think in Pennsylvania. And she found this mug, and I happened to see the post when it happened. And I said, oh, my God, if you're still there, will you get it for me? She said, yeah. And then she took a picture of it. It started out at $3.99. Then it went to $1, and I think it was 50 cents I tore off of here. But I love it. I've never seen this, and this has got to be old because, I mean, I think it's the original one from the Lake of the Ozarks. So that, and then this was a miracle.
I like the ocean theme on it.
I know. It's always like there's seagulls and shit. Like, what do we want to just be at every condo at the Ozarks too? Yeah. You walk in and there's oars and the buoys, crabs and sharks. I'm like, we live at a lake. That should be a catfish or a bass or a bluegill. Yeah, it's got the whole nautical thing too. Yeah.
It's called a compass.
Sailboat. Anywho, and then this was the miracle of all miracles, helpful hamster, greatest termite ever. So, I have golf shoes, and literally, I've had them forever. They're so comfortable. They do not make that kind. It's FootJoy, but they don't make that kind anymore. And then I was playing golf, and it just separated, and then the thing got all wet. And then I tried to, termites said use Gorilla Glue, so I tried that. I tried shoe goo. I've tried everything except taking them to a person who does that professionally, which should have been my first thought. But they were also getting kind of wet easily. It was sad, but it was done. It was time, and I couldn't find them anymore, and I took a video of it. And then this lady, Marina, I went out to my front porch, and I'm like, what is that box? Picked it up. I'm like, that's kind of heavy. I don't know about anybody in Washington. And I opened the box. She found 3 pairs.
No way.
Yeah. And
Wow.
the ones that are in the garage I already wore. And then these, I thought these were both brand new. They're used somehow, but I don't care. And she cleaned them. Yeah. And then I got this pair. I'm never going to need golf shoes the rest of my life. And it wasn't that I wouldn't buy them. You just couldn't find them. So I don't know where she found them, but miracle of all miracles. Thank you, termite. It was just the nicest. I didn't ask anybody to go do that. I asked FootJoy. They didn't even respond, Jack Straws. I was saying, do you guys have any in a warehouse that I could buy, like old ones that you forgot about? But nobody answered me. No, FootJoy, you did not come through. Guess who came through? A termite.
Yep.
A helpful termite.
Helpful termites.
All right, what are we drinking? Well, we're trying seltzers, a new thing, because it's a summer drink. We still got a month of summer left. Well, except if you're one of the super children. God, they're sending those kids back to school so early. I know a lot of parents are probably excited about that.
Like next week.
But like next week.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? We didn't go back till after Labor Day, ever.
Right.
And we were off before Memorial Day.
We were in Canada. It was
Well,
like June 10th.
Well, Canada, that's why you're smarter. Okay? As
Match it.
Imperial. That's all I have to say to that. Imperial.
You know it now. That's good.
The Mich Ultra has some good seltzers. Everybody I've known, only about 1 out of 10 people know what our system's called, for the record. I've polled a lot of people. I polled at the golf course. I polled my St. Louis friends. Every bar we walk into, I've asked, hey, do you know what our math system's called? And they all just go, math? I'm like, see? It's not just me being a dumbass. Mich Ultra, I like their seltzers. Topo Chico's still my favorite. But these will be a fine second. This is citrus. I love it. Anything that tastes like, because then it tastes like summer, and you're not full from beer. And in my St. Louis Blues Stanley Cup champion Yeti thing. What are we going to try and eat? Well, I'm going to start with the thing that I think might be not up my alley. This is called Original Bitchin Sauce. It's in every grocery store. It's like a almond dip. I know. It says bitchin' and saucy, but I liked bitchin'. I liked the front.
It's from California.
I bet it's not from California. I don't think they would write that. It's vegan.
Oh, good.
Oh, gluten-free. I'm starting to wonder, though, if everybody in just, you're right, California. Bitchin', Carlsbad, California.
It feels like California.
Yeah, well, we'll try. We'll do it on behalf of my sister. Gluten-free.
You better have a chaser.
I got a lot of chasers. Tastes like baby food. Like if you took a bite out of this, you're feeding a kid in a high chair, you'd be like, yeah, it's fine. Good enough for a baby. because the baby's stomach can't handle it. It's
Vegan baby.
I guess it'd be fine on vegetables. I don't really get it. There's no, if you have a bland stomach and you're looking for something, jump on that.
That's fantastic.
This I'm excited about. So have you guys ever been to Legal Seafoods? They're all over the East Coast. I don't know where else they are. Bassett.
Baby food.
Legal Seafoods. This is malt and vinegar aioli. Now, if anything says my name louder than that, I don't know what.
Right. It's your people.
Oh my God. By Stonewall Kitchen. Mm-hmm. Nice. Oh, it's from Maine.
Yeah, Stonewall Kitchen.
Right. Kelly McFarland knows all about that. My comedian friend. She'll be doing the show in Welch, Minnesota with me. Yeah. That's wonderful. I don't know what you're supposed to do with this.
Put it on it.
Fish, chicken,
Yeah, anything white meat.
white meat, wonderful. Then this is just a little something in the car. I love Snyder's pretzels, and they have hot buffalo wing pretzel pieces. Usually I say don't mess with the original. No reason to change a Cheez-It. There's no reason to change a pretzel. Right. The Germans have been making them for millions of years.
How hard is it? It's buffalo.
Well, no. There's a lot of chemicals going on in this. There's a lot of different tastes that are going to hit your mouth at one time. And then you're going to have to make a weird decision. I vote no.
No.
Well, just eat Doritos or eat pretzels. This is like a Dorito pretzel. Now we've taken away the grade of both.
Okay.
I don't know. I wouldn't buy them again. And I love Snyder's pretzels. So I'm not
And buffalo wings.
I'm not dissing that. Yeah. And I love buffalo wings. All right. Moving on, people.
So, no on the baby food. Yes on the
No on the almond butter baby food dip. Yes on Legal Seafoods. Malt, vinegar, aioli. Pass on the buffalo wing pretzels. Just go get some buffalo wings, would you?
great idea. Yes.
Well, that's why I'm excited, because I'm going to flying into Buffalo to go to Canada, and I'm going to try to get, and I don't even want to start that fight online about what's the best wings in Buffalo, because I like where they were invented. I think it's called the Anchor Bar, and I think they're wonderful. I don't see any reason to. Yeah, I'm going to tell you about that lady at the end of today's show, as a matter of fact, in honor of heading. Well, I'm not going there till September. First, it's Vegas. And my friend Carla Ray, I've already said that she's going to open there. And then Michael Palisak's going out, Michael Somerville, all kinds of funny people are going out this fall. Anywho, when I go to Buffalo, I'm very content at the original place. And I like the vibe in there. And the wings are great. I don't know how much more people expect out of a chicken wing, a buffalo wing, whatever. It's a buffalo wing. Like, we're good.
Well,
There's sauce on it.
Yeah.
They cooked it right.
Sometimes they freak out with the sauces.
Well, they've gone too far. Again,
Teriyaki mustard.
you messed up this lady's original deal. That's,
Well, what have we put up?
well, I'm old school. I'm a traditionalist for the most part when it comes to that kind of crap. I forgot to tell you guys about the KFC Mcnuggets, and it was in my video, so it's a little embarrassing. It was in the promo video, and then
KFC nugget.
it's the KFC chicken nugget.
Because you can't say Mick.
I can't say McNugget. I love that they have just woken up to this. I mean, McNuggets are, well, how old are McNuggets? 20 years old?
It's kind of a softball layout.
Well,
Say how old.
the Louisville, Kentucky base brand says it's ready for battle. Well, good, you've had 20 to 30 years.
1981.
1981.
The chicken McNugget came out.
So that's one, I can't wait, 22, what? It's 2022. That's 22 years plus, what, 40 years ago? Yeah. All right.
That's easy math.
Well, they've had 40 years to prepare their answer. And Kentucky Fried Chicken has come up with their answer.
Nice.
It's ready for battle with its 100% white meat, whole muscle, chicken McNuggets chicken nuggets that roll out for testing, but only in select restaurant locations in Charlotte, beginning. So I know I have termites in Charlotte because
Just to see if people like
I do.
nugget.
Yeah, they're just gonna test a McNugget, except call it a nugget. I mean, who is in charge over here?
It's a sure thing.
Oh my God! I know I have termite people in Charlotte. Somebody go to Kentucky Fried Chicken and get this thing and do a video and send it to me and tell me what you think. Beginning on July 18th for a limited time. So Charlotte, North Carolina, some locations. Google it if you live there. The price of nuggets, which come in 8-piece, 12-piece, and 36-piece, vary by location. Okay? They will replace the popcorn chicken currently on the menu. The nuggets are hand-breaded using KFC's. Okay, they probably are great. I love Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't think I go more than once a year. I took a bucket over to my friend Andrew's house because he brought it up, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. I like the mashed potatoes. I like everything at Kentucky Fried Chicken. But it's also, 20 million calories and everything you're tasting.
So good.
It's a really big deal to introduce to a whole new generation to the original recipe. Why? Why did this take 40 years? So many of our young customers are not interested in eating chicken on the bone, or for whatever reason they choose. It's a completely different flavor profile than what everybody else has on the market. Bringing that to the boneless avenue is such a huge place that opened up for us. You could have done that. I don't understand. Yeah, so somebody in Charlotte, please make it a mission. Okay? Okay. Update! Spirit Airlines is going to be bought by JetBlue. How much? $3.8 billion. Seeing their planes, I'd have offered $432.
Hard to paint over yellow.
How many parking spots do you have at the Los Angeles International Airport? 4? Okay.
Parking spots.
That's the thing, when you land, they don't pay for gate space.
Right.
It's a trick.
Can we borrow yours?
It's like Allegiant. One time my parents took it to Vegas. I told them don't do it, and they did it, and it took like 18 hours. Yeah, it was ridiculous. But here's what's going to change. Now, this is good news for customers, for us people. JetBlue is more of a Northeast thing, though. Like out of New York to Florida, there's a lot of that. Like, I don't really fly them. They never even come up in people that might be going where I need to go. Not from the Midwest or the South. No. From leg room to airfare, here's how the thing's going to work. $3.8 billion, Jesus. Now, this is after Spirit said they were going to maybe merge with Frontier. Which, by the way, I just booked a ticket on Frontier Airlines. And when you complete something and you move to the next page, this is why I love them, and I think normal people would not. This bear claw comes and goes, yes, and it switches. I'm like, yes, more of that. That's what I want to see.
It's $18 to go.
Yeah. And then they start, would you like to bring your purse on? Well, that's going to be $54. Do you have a backpack? No. How about a wheelie bag? Mm-hmm.
How much does it weigh?
Yeah. Okay. JetBlue's earned a reputation for passenger comforts like relatively generous legrooms, setback screens, live TV, free Wi-Fi, complimentary snacks like Cheez-Its, yes, and stellar vegan butter pretzel braids. It also offers business class with live flat seats, only on some flights, by the way. Spirit has become a punchline for its bare bones service. The cabins in the bright yellow planes are more cramped. Passengers have to pay extra for optional services like carry-on luggage, blah, blah, blah. It's historic. So, what are JetBlue's plans? This is good that JetBlue bought them rather than them merging with Frontier, because I think they might drag Frontier down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. JetBlue wants to get bigger, and Spirit has the plans to do that, and the pilots to help do it. Pilots are a big deal. The New York-based carrier sent plans to retrofit Spirit's planes in the JetBlue style, which is good, ripping out the packed-in seats for a roomier layout with more amenities. Nice. How nice is that? Combined, the airlines would become the country's fifth largest carrier behind American, Delta, United, and Southwest. Both have a big presence in Florida, and each has expanded into Central and South America. Whoa. As well as the Caribbean and recent JetBlue starting to fly to London. They will continue to operate as separate airlines until after the deal closes, which is subject to regulatory approval. Afterwards, passengers might be confused if they're flying in Spirit planes that haven't been yet retrofitted yet. Yeah. Despite the comedian's digs, Spirit has improved its reliability in recent years and is faring better than JetBlue by some measures. Well, you might improve your on-time arrival if you count when you land. But does it count when we get out of the plane? How about when we pulled up to a gate? Somebody start keeping an eye on them. I bet they're lying. I'm going to sit there with a stopwatch. What time did you think you landed?
Just out of the airport.
Nay. I'm going to do it from the Delta Lounge in Nashville. I always see that one Spirit. I post the picture every time. It makes me laugh. There's always a Spirit plane out there just putzing around, trying to go, hey, man, are you leaving? When are you getting out of that spot? Can you back up just a little? Thanks. It's like in the parking lot. Are you leaving? Okay, thanks. So far this year, a third of JetBlue's flights were delayed and 4% have been canceled, according to a flight track by FlightAware. So this is good news. Spirit may not be an elegant experience, but they are cheap. Cheap is fine if you're only going an hour. Yeah. Cheap is fine for 2 hours. Anything over 2 hours, then it starts to get weird. And I know why people have to do it. And I know some comics that are, just starting out or whatever. And you can really get places for crazy cheap. Right. So if you don't, I know there's some comedians, all they carry around is a backpack and a shirt in a wheelie bag. Mm-hmm. They can do it because you don't have to pay for all that extra shit. But I don't know. Frontier, meanwhile, is already saying it's happy to take a bigger share of the ultra-low-cost market after Spirit deal fell apart. Shortly after the airlines announced the end of the agreement, Frontier projected it would grow 30% in the next year and started a fare sale. Well, I didn't see that. With 1 million seats going for $19 a piece.
Come on. Yeah, I bet you can't assign them.
Every opener. I'm going to go, how much was your airfare? Well, I budgeted $19. So that's what I'm going to pay you. $19. No, I would never do that. Update! Mark Zuckerberg. This is so great. This is why I'm not even sure this is one of the children, but I'm going to bet it was somebody under the age of 40, and this is why I applaud them. So Mark Zuckerberg calls a Zoom meeting of the Meta people. He's really pissed off they're not working hard enough. You know what I would say to him? Oh, no, Mark, we're working. No one's interested. Nobody gives a shit about your fake Sims world. That's worse. Video games look better than that. Right. The old ones. Super Mario looked better than what he's got going on in his metaverse. So he's up in the screen. You can see the video. We'll put it in the show notes. Mark Zuckerberg, quote, visibly frustrated over workers' question. This is so great. Mark Zuckerberg failed to conceal his annoyance with an employee who asked about vacation days during a meeting in which Meta CEO revealed plans to cut underperforming workers. So he called them all to say, I don't think any of you are working hard enough, and I'm going to have to see some more productivity out of people, or there's going to be layoffs. And somebody in Chicago was like, yeah, that's all fine, but what about vacation? Like we used to get these Meta days. Remember that? Like during COVID? So are we going to do that again? Or is this are you cutting all that back? Because I'm going to go over to Google Schmoogle if this bullshit's going to continue.
I can't bring my dog.
This is during a Q&A company-wide on June 30th, the Facebook boss warned a recent market slump might be one of the worst downturns we've seen in recent history. During this session, he appeared visibly frustrated after one Chicago employee asked whether Meta days or extra time off introduced during COVID would continue. And then he goes, all right. Given my tone and the rest of the Q&A, you can probably imagine what my reaction to that is. I don't care what your reaction is. What's your answer? Right. I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care at all. They're going to be implementing higher standards for its employees and cutting ties with those unable to meet the performance. Oh, my God. I just love it on it. In a company-wide call after he's been blabbling on for God knows how long. He's got the balls to go, yeah, whatever you're saying, that's great. But, so how's my vacation going to work? Like, now during COVID, we had a lot more. Update! This is just an update on one of our Capitol rioters. Man's 63-month prison term matches the longest for the Capitol rioters. What did we learn, rioters? Don't film yourself. Wear a mask. See, this is the one time wearing a mask would have helped you. He attacked police officers with poles. He was sentenced to more than 5 years in prison, matching the longest term so far among hundreds of people. He's a 56-year-old from D.C. named Mark Ponder. He said he got caught up in the chaos and he didn't mean for any of this to happen. Well, where'd you get these poles?
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking that day. He was asking for mercy from this lady judge, Tanya Chutkin. He asked for mercy before she sentenced him to 5 years and 3 months in prison. That was 3 months longer than the prison sentence requested. Oh. And it's the same sentence that she also gave Robert Palmer, a Florida man who also pleaded guilty. She said that Ponder was leading the charge against the cops, trying to hold off the mob that disrupted. This is not caught up, Mr. Ponder. He was intent on attacking and injuring the police officers. This was not a protest. She's always taken a hard line. Good for her. Wow. Okay, Ponder swung a pole. Where did he get the pole? At Capitol Cops in the West Plaza, breaking it against the officers. After retreating, he grabbed a sturdier pole, colored in red, white, and blue stripes. He used it to assault two other officers, hitting one in the shoulder before cops detained and handcuffed him. Well, if you went and got a pole, that's a little more than getting caught up.
Right.
You know, I think there were a lot of people, the mob.
Cops with them.
And you're walking in through broken windows. You know you shouldn't do that.
Right.
They released him at the time because they couldn't get a police vehicle to transport him. There you go. Oh, this guy has had a substantial criminal record spanning 3 decades, including a 2008 conviction for bank robbery. He's a bank robber on top of it. Wow.
Great.
Oh, they're prosecutors. This may not be the longest one. Prosecutors are seeking a 15-year prison sentence for Guy Reffitt, a Texas man who was convicted of storming the Capitol with a holstered handgun. Uh-oh. We shall see. There's your update. You don't get away with it.
No.
Just when you thought you did, you forgot. Uh-oh, I was filming myself with a selfie stick. And then I went and posted it on Facebook and Reels. And now, this doesn't really matter to me, but it matters to a lot of Americans and some Canadians, according to Paddles. The maker of Choco Taco says it's discussing next steps after being surprised how upset fans are over the news the treat is being discontinued. Well, here's the thing. I think we're all responsible. I like a Choco Taco. Guess when the last time I bought one was? When I was 7. So maybe it's on me. Maybe it's on you people. Did you like them? And you for Klondike? I know. What's it? Something that you give on the Klondike Flint or something like that. I don't know. There's a commercial. I don't know what it is. But they canceled it because nobody's buying it. And now everybody's outraged. You know, what do you mean you're doing that? Well, when's the last time you bought one, guys? You have to support the old school products or they will be canceled. Part of cancel culture. We're canceling it. Once again, not cancel, consequence culture. No one's buying it. We're not making it. Bye-bye. 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 Yeah. It's going to live on for a little while. There's people online starting crazy. They'll forget about it, though. Plenty of other ice cream. Go get the little drumsticks. They're delicious. They're really good. The caramel ones are really good. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, my God. This is all. We're moving on. That's all my updates. Holy shit, they found it. Miners just discovered the largest pink diamond in more than 300 years. Wow. It's massive. The pink diamond, it's in Angola. It's estimated to weigh 170 carats, making it just a smidge smaller than the 182-carat Daria diamond, the largest pink diamond in the world, which today is part of the Iranian national jewels. Wow. The new diamond, they named it Lulo Rose, after the Lulo mine in northeastern Angola, where it was found. And according to the statement, there was one for 400. That was 404 carats, and that sold for $16 million in 2016. So this is half of that. But I bet now with inflation and shit, it'll yeah. We'll put a picture in the schnotes. It's amazing. The schnots. This maybe. Do I have any Mormon termites out there? Probably not. I was thinking probably not.
Red is back.
Probably not. I'm probably a little too drinky smoky for that crowd. Probably. But you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe.
My friend Ryan Hamilton is very funny, very, very funny comedian. He's a Mormon. I have one Mormon friend, at least, Ryan, that I know of.
I don't think they care about your seltzers.
You don't think they care about my seltzers? Sneaky ones do. The ones that go to Wendover, Nevada, to that casino, and they sneak away from Salt Lake City. I got stopped by a Mormon cop on that. It's the salt flats when you drive there. People test land speed things. Like, there's nothing to hit. I didn't even see a speed limit sign. And this he was like Opie from Andy Griffith. He was like 5'5", just the cleanest living little white person ever. And he said to me, "Golly gee whiz, ma'am, do you know how fast you were going?" I go, "Are you fucking kidding me?" But I meant because he said golly gee whiz. I didn't mean, I don't know how fast I'm going. I go, probably really fast because I haven't seen a sign. I said, I have a show with the Wendover Casino. No, Peppermill Casino. And he goes, "Well, when's your show?" I go, "Tomorrow." That has nothing to do with it. I should have said tonight, but I was honest. I go, "Well, tomorrow." And then he's like, I could arrest you. I'm like, "What?" Well, I said, "Now, come on. Neither you nor I want to deal with that paperwork, and you don't want to drag this chatty Kathy's ass in your back car," because I won't shut up all the way back to Salt Lake. I will say, not maybe there'll be nice things, maybe not, but I'm not shutting up. You can't make me stop talking. You will wish I was not in your car. So he gave me a ticket and I paid it. Anyway.
Squirrel.
Yeah. Mormon founder Joseph Smith's photo discovered by descendant after nearly 180 years. Whoa. And you know what? His picture, he's very handsome. It's super spooky because it's back in the 1800s where your eyes all looked like white, like the black and white photo. It's not even sepia tone. It's black and white, and they look like two little white lasers. Marooned in their homes, many Americans made the best of the early days of the pandemic by sorting through old boxes of family artifacts. One Saturday morning in 2020, Dan Larson and his wife were doing just that when they discovered the world's only verified photographic image of Mormonism's founder, Joseph Smith Jr. Larson, 79, is a great-great-grandson of Smith, who was killed by a mob near Nauvoo, Illinois in 1844. And then what do we know from those of you who have listened to Bothering Jesus? The Mormons left Illinois and they went to where? Kansas City. Here I come. Now, Brigham Young's people, Joseph Smith Jr.'s people, they stayed there. And then the Brigham Young people went to Utah. So if you're a super traditionalist, you believe the Mormons in Missouri, technically independent Missouri, are the, quote, true ones. That's an internal fight. I got no dog in that fight.
That's where that stripper lady moved.
You can say whatever.
The lady with the tires. Heidi Fleiss.
Yeah, Heidi Fleiss is over there.
And not a Mormon.
No, definitely not a Mormon. Heidi Fleiss is, no.
That'll be fun.
Among effects passed down to Larson was a pocket watch that bore the initials of his great-grandfather, Joseph Smith III, the prophet's oldest son and founder of the Reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, now called Community of Christ. There was also a second object, a locket that resembled a pocket watch. He inherited the locket shortly before his mother's death in 1992. It's something was bent, whatever that's called on a pocket watch, and he was not able to open it, so he put it away for safekeeping. Why wouldn't you go have it opened by a jeweler? Talk about giving up. Shit, it's stuck. Well, put it in the closet. God, even I have a little more oomph than that. I'm like, somebody will do this. While riding out the pandemic shutdowns, he and his wife embarked on a sort of project going through items of both sides of the family. I was a little hesitant about prying the locket open, Larson said. Right. Take it to a jeweler. That's why we have professionals. We have little professional people in tiny little shops, and they're always so willing to help. Every time some dumbass watch I bought somewhere on the road breaks and I take it in there, they'll charge me like $5. They're like, this watch will never work again. We're sorry. Oh, thanks for looking at it. Yeah. Okay. Do I owe you any money? How about $5? Okay. In my mind, there was no question. So he was expecting to find a watch face, but instead he was stunned to see the face of a man. In my mind, there was no question who it was. He felt sure he was staring in the eyes of Joseph Smith Jr. For years, historians had speculated about the possibility that a photographic image of Joseph Smith was out there somewhere based on claims by various Smith relatives had made and an advertisement from the 1850s. Larson felt he'd found such a photo, and because the locket had been closed up tight for decades, protected from light, the image was remarkably clear. It's a crazy image. I mean, it's awesome. What followed was more than 2 years of verification. Larson called his nephew, the historian and Community of Christ apostle Lachlan McKay, to help him assemble experts, so on and so forth. Blah, blah, blah. We don't need to know. Blah, blah, blah. The locket shows up on prominent Smith family women throughout the years. So they must have wore it. They wore it in a portrait in 1869. In 1875, a granddaughter wore it in her wedding photo. So it's been passed on to all these people. Yeah, go have a look. It's really spooky. Kind of more handsome than the paintings they have of him. I don't like the paintings. He kind of has a reptilian look. I don't like it. Holy shit, they found it! I don't know why I think this is funny. Dinosaur footprints dating back 100 million years have been discovered in southwestern China after a sharp-eyed diner spotted them in the restaurant's outdoor courtyard.
What?
They're enormous. Yeah. Who missed those? Who all's been eating out on the patio and never looked down and went, hey, man, something huge walked through here a while back. So, several stone pits at the restaurant in Leshan, the Sichuan province, contain the footprints of two sauropods, a type of dinosaur that lived during the early something period. A paleontologist in so-and-so at China University confirmed all this. They had long necks and tails, the sauropods, and were the largest to ever walk Earth. They could grow to the length of 3 school buses and were so heavy the ground must have shaken when they walked. The two who left footprints probably measured 26 feet in body length.
What?
Oh, my God. That's as big as my boat. Yeah. Though many dinosaur fossils have been uncovered, few fossils from the Cretaceous period have been found. The Cretaceous period is when dinosaurs really flourished. This discovery is like a jigsaw, adding a piece of evidence to Sichuan's Cretaceous period and the diversity of dinosaurs. What? How do we... Before it was a restaurant, the location was used as a chicken farm. And with the dinosaur footprints buried by layers of dirt and sand, shielding them from erosion and weather. Well, nobody noticed. The thing's 26 feet long. Its paws probably... That's crazy.
All chickens do is scratch.
God dang. All right. We're moving on to news.
God.
I don't know why this makes me laugh. Because there was one of these in Ireland we talked about. And I'd just like to say, if you're listening to this Pubcast, we're ahead of the curve. We warned everybody about monkeypox months ago. Almost probably maybe even a year ago. I was like, hey, just saying.
Something's coming.
Monkeypox got out of Africa. And then if it keeps spreading. Yeah. One of the guys. Well, I won't even go into that. Meet Freya, the 1,300-pound walrus capturing hearts, sinking boats, and irking mariners. It's like the one in Ireland.
No.
She's so fat.
Wow.
But she's so cute. Probably not cute, though, if she sank my boat. I'd be a little angry at Freya.
Yeah. A
more than 1,300-pound walrus in northern Europe has taken up summer sunbathing. She gets tired of swimming and needs something to lay on. They can't swim forever. And if she's in the bay and you see a really soft-looking boat, maybe it's got a little tube on the back, I could see where you'd want to. She's sunbathing on boats, and some of them, are just too big for the too small for the big gal. She's causing cute, clumsy chaos in countries such as the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, Denmark, and Sweden. More recently, maybe it's the same one, she swam to Norway. I mean, that's a long swim. Yeah, she's going to be tired. She sunk a boat in Oslofjord, an inlet in the southwest eastern part of the country. No injuries. Named after the Norse god of love and beauty, Freya has fans, but she also has mariner enemies after sinking and damaging boats. Video posted online shows Freya climbing onto the stern of boats, basking in the sun, struggling to support her fat, and sometimes flipping the vessels. When she's not dozing on boats, other videos show her chasing ducks and swans. A walrus can sleep 19 hours a day. So once she's up there, no. And there's a picture of her. She's got her flipper like over her eyes, like a cat. Like, oh, I'm so tired. I can't be bothered by the sunlight. Oh my God. She's a wild animal, around 600 kilograms, which is not necessarily as stalking and clumsy as one might get the impression. She's doing well, feeding and resting, and seems in good condition. The Norwegian Directorate of Fisheries released a statement asking people to leave the walrus alone. Here's one. She's sinking it. But she's laying in it while it's sinking. Probably feels good. Best thing is nature takes a course, and she has moved away from areas with a lot of people. In any case, we're prepared if she were to cause problems elsewhere. Well, I don't know if she's the same one that was in Ireland doing this all over the place too, but then they don't seem to have an answer how to trick her out. No. Give her own. Oh no, the Irish did. They gave her own boat. Whatever walrus that was, get her own boat.
Yeah, in the harbor.
Yeah, and then put like whatever they eat. Put a meal out on the boat. Just keep feeding her until she decides to leave. Oh my God, this is crazy. I told you people, if you've listened to this, about the movie Monkey Shines. Yes. If you've never seen it, you need to go watch it. My friend Lewis Black knows the actor that plays the guy in the wheelchair, by the way. It's about a helper monkey that went bad. Well, now there's a whole city of them. Japanese city alarmed by biting, clawing, and attacking monkeys. And there's a picture of one of them looking in someone's like screen door. I'd be tempted to let it in. It looks so it's so human. Like I'd be like, shh. But now I wouldn't, knowing this. People in the southwestern Japanese city have come under attack from monkeys that are trying to snatch babies, biting and clawing at flesh, and sneaking into nursery schools. Oh my God. The attacks on 58 people since July 8th are getting so bad, Yamaguchi City Hall required a special unit to hunt the animals with tranquilizer guns. The monkeys aren't interested in food, so traps haven't worked. They have largely targeted mostly children and the elderly. So they're not even doing it for food. They're just tiny assholes with some sort of vengeance on their mind. What have old people and little kids done to them? Nothing. They're so smart, and they tend to sneak up and attack from behind, often grabbing your legs. When confronted by a monkey, the instructions are: do not make eye contact. These are the same as a bear, really. Do not make sudden movements, except at bear, they tell you to get bigger. A woman was assaulted by a monkey while hanging laundry on her veranda. Another victim showed bandaged toes. They were taken aback and frightened by how fat and big the monkeys are. The monkeys are terrorizing the Japanese community, are macaw, the kind often pictured peacefully bathing in hot springs. Right. Yeah. Next thing you know, they've stolen your baby. And then the ones in India are throwing them off roofs. Mm-hmm. I mean, one male monkey, measuring 1.6 foot tall and weighing 15 pounds, was caught Tuesday by the team with the tranquilizer gun. It was judged by various evidence to be one of the attacking monkeys, and it was put to death. Oh. Can't we move them out in the jungle? Where'd they come from? Well, exactly. Right. So many questions, so few answers. Right. This podcast isn't about the answers. No, not unless somebody gives us an update. This is all on you people. You're advised to get hospital treatment. Ambulance have had to been called. Although Japan is industrial and urban, a fair portion of land in the mountains and forests. Rare attacks by people, by bears or boars or wildlife have occurred, but not generally by monkeys. No one seems to know why the attacks have occurred. Maybe they're hot. Maybe. Is it too hot, like here? And they want to go inside? Just banging on a screen door? Maybe they're taking the babies hostages.
Could be.
I won't give it back unless you let me inside the air conditioning. Mm. This guy who's in charge of all this said he's never seen anything like it in his life. So I doubt we have any Japanese termites, but if you live in that town, be careful. I would take a pellet gun.
You think a pellet gun's going to stop a monkey that'll throw a baby off a roof?
I think it'll stun the monkey enough that I would have time to get away from it.
It's got to be a big pellet.
It's got to be a big pellet. Those pellet guns are hard because you have to air pump them, and I'm not strong enough. I always have to get my neighbor Jeff to do it.
How about a cannon?
A cannon would be great. Okay, super great news. Existence of the Loch Ness Monster is plausible after a fossil discovery. Now, it wasn't found in Loch Ness. And I sailed Loch Ness with Lewis 3 years ago, I guess. The whole thing. Never saw any evidence of it. Now, that's just one day out of, and the ship captain, I'm like, do you ever see anything? He goes, look at this. And the way the waves are, because it's windy, anything could be anything. And then when it's foggy, anything could really be anything. So it's very hard. But then I watched a whole special on the Loch Ness, because I really do believe that there's some sort of like eel. I don't think it's like a monster we've never seen. I think it's like an eel or...
Yes, you do.
Yes. Well, no, not a monster.
Well, it
It's
a monster back when they...
might have been a monster if you're a little fish. Right, but not a monster to us. Like it's not going to eat a kayaker. I've decided all that with very little scientific evidence to back up my opinions. But I did watch a whole special where then I started thinking, well, there doesn't seem to be a lot of food in Loch Ness for Nessie to eat, which would then make you wonder why would she say it. But I don't think she says. I think she comes in and out. So, and like a bull shark, she could probably live in freshwater and saltwater. So that's just, I'm sure there are some people out there that really know a lot about this and their heads just exploded after everything I just said. But I went to Loch Ness Monster Museum. I read everything about it. I watched the movies, blah, blah, blah. River system dig in modern-day Morocco offers controversial new perspective on how marine reptiles and aquatic dinosaurs coexisted. I've always thought it was basically...
Morocco?
I know, we're not in Scotland. Hang on.
We're nowhere near Scotland.
No, we're not near Scotland. No. I may not know math, but I know some geography. The Loch Ness Monster is plausible, a British university has declared, after finding some plesiosaurs may have lived in fresh water. See, here's the key. Nessie proponents have long believed that the creature of Scottish folklore could be a prehistoric reptile. That's what I've thought, with grainy images and eyewitness accounts over the years hinting that the beast had a long neck and a head similar to a plesiosaur. This is, by the way, I used to do that joke in my act about New Orleans. They canceled the theory of evolution because of a plesiosaur. It's too hard to even understand. Anyway, however, skeptics argue that even if a plesiosaur lineage had survived into the modern era, the creatures could not have lived in Loch Ness because they needed a saltwater environment. Now the University of Bath has found fossils of small plesiosaurs in a 100-million-year-old river system that is now Morocco's Sahara Desert, suggesting they did live in fresh water.
Nice.
Maybe they could go back and forth. The fossil includes bones and teeth from a 10-foot long adult and an arm bone from a 5-foot baby. They hint that the creatures routinely lived and fed in freshwater alongside frogs, crocodiles, turtles, What amazes me is that the ancient Moroccan river contained so many carnivores all living alongside one another. So-and-so smart person said. This was no place to go. Oh, well, listen to his title. I mean, Jesus Christ. Co-author Dave Martell, professor of paleobiology at the University of Portsmouth. You got to tighten that up, Dave. That's just be the dinosaur guy. Be Dino Man. See how I tighten that up? The plesiosaur teeth even show the same heavy wear patterns of the Spinosaurus, suggesting they were regularly feeding on the same heavily armored fish that swam in the river system, rather than being an occasional visitor. They were there a lot in the fresh water. We don't really know why the plesiosaurs are in fresh water. It's a bit controversial, but who's to say that because we are paleontologists have always called them marine reptiles, that they had to live in the sea. Lots of marine lineages invaded fresh water. Yeah, that's why people don't believe there's sharks in Mississippi. Yes, there are. There's bull sharks.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't
Bull sharks can exist in brackish water, and once they get into Mississippi, they're fine. They can make it. Sadly, because they're the most, people think they're more scared of a great white. I would be more scared of a bull shark. They will rip the living shit out of you, versus a great white will bite you and either kill you on that bite or probably spit you out. But a bull shark will just, yeah, crazy. So the first complete skeleton of a plesiosaur was first found in Dorset in 1832 by Mary Anning, an English fossil hunter. The creature was found to be a small head, long neck, and 4 flippers. It was named near lizard because it was thought to be more closely resemble modern reptiles compared to the Ichthyosaurus, which has been found in the same rock strata just a few years earlier. We know how it swam. Doesn't matter. This is all. Plesiosaurs weren't confined to the seas. They did inhabit fresh water, the release added, but also pointed out that the fossil records still showed that the plesiosaurs had died out at the same time as the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. So if there is one in Loch Ness, it's 66 million years old. Or nobody has realized that there's a family getting it on with a lot of loving, and there's a lot of babies, and they just kept going. Right?
This is Nessie, part 874.
It's going to give new life to the Scottish Loch Ness Museum. The museum's fascinating.
It's cool.
If you ever go to the town of, there is a town, Loch Ness, that's on the lake. It's fascinating.
I've been there. It's great.
Well, we're going to do one fast one, because this is just unbelievable to me. Police officers shot a man's pet snake on Wednesday after they arrived at a Pennsylvania home to find the reptile wrapped around its owner's neck, rendering him unconscious.
In Pennsylvania?
Merca? 27-year-old man. That's too bad. Elliot died Monday in a hospital due to a brain injury. The snake died from its... They shot the snake off his neck.
Holy shit.
And...
What kind of snake?
It's got to be a python, right? It was in Fogelsville, Pennsylvania, a rural town in the eastern part of the state. The man suffered cardiac arrest after the snake wrapped itself around its throat. It was a 15-foot long thing. He said after entering the house, the officers encountered a family member who guided them towards the owner. Somebody was home.
What?
Guided them towards the owner, who was lying unresponsive, choked by the snake's midsection. The snake told it was a dire situation, and without a doubt, life. He said as officers peered down the hallway, they observed a man lying in the doorway between the hall, where the snake was staring back towards cops. Oh, God. An officer fired one shot, striking the snake's head, which was distanced from the man because of the length of the animal's body. He told CNN officers pulled the victim away from the snake into the living room, where several fire department and EMS responders administered emergency care before transporting him.
Wow.
Oh, my God, people.
That's crazy.
That's too bad. 27-year-old. Yeah. What happened?
Right.
Who lives with this person?
Right.
Who here gathered amongst us thinks Skittles is food?
No.
Who here, by a show of hands, I'd like a show of hands, who here thinks there might be bad things in Skittles?
That's ridiculous. Do you think there's real fruit?
I mean,
in them?
first,
Come on. For real?
I like Skittles. Well, but you know this can't be good for you. It's not real fruit.
No.
I mean, it's junk food. What? That's why there's a whole category for it. A Skittles lawsuit raises questions over titanium dioxide, legal, not illegal, food additive. I think it's how it gets its color. A California man, and then I would have wrote, who has an enormous amount of free time, claims Skittles candy contains a known toxin that makes it unfit for human consumption, and is suing the manufacturer, Mars. Which I want to do a deep dive on the Mars family, because I read a thing that they're super duper duper elusive.
Wow.
Nobody ever talks about them.
Maybe for
I'll do it.
maybe for episode 100.
Maybe for 100. The ingredient, titanium dioxide, is just one of the 1,000 legal food additives in this U.S. lawsuit. But Genile, Genile, Thames, that's his name. I'm just going to call him Jay. Says Mars failed to warn customers about the potential danger of the ingredient, which is used as a color additive in Skittles.
If you are buying Skittles to eat, you do not care about your health.
Well, if it's legal, why do I have to be warned about it? You're not warned about all the other legal shit that's in junk food. God only knows what's in that pretzel I just ate. I'll tell you what's not good. There's nothing fun in that almond shit. Nothing. It's terrible. Probably needs some titanium dioxide. Color it up. Do something. Safety is paramount importance to Mars Wrigley. Titanium dioxide is a common colorant widely used across many industries and everyday products, including many foods, said Justin Combs, the company's vice president of research and development. We do not comment on pending litigation. All Mars Wrigley ingredients are safe and manufactured in compliance with the strict quality and safety requirements established by food regulators, including the FDA.
Okay.
So I don't even, what makes it harmful? Oh, no, it's just all, this is just one guy. If it's in there, it's allowed in the USA. Spokesman for the FDA told NPR what the agency cannot comment on pending litigation. The agency allows for the safe use of titanium dioxide as a color additive in food, including a quantity that does not exceed 1% of the food's weight.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
I don't even see how this man has a lawsuit so far.
Nope.
I love Skittles, but should I stop eating them? Well, here's the thing. There are plenty of candies that don't have titanium dioxide, so people have choices, and they can read that list. Well, what are they?
Right.
I don't eat candy anyway. I'm not a sweet tooth person, but I maybe make a different choice. I mean, here's the other thing. Janelle, whoever filed this lawsuit, how many Skittles are you going to consume in your lifetime? Let's say that titanium dioxide is not particularly good for you.
Right.
I would imagine if you got a scientist to really tell the truth, for it to actually really harm you, you'd probably have to eat like 1 million Skittles. Right?
Right.
Yeah. Nobody's doing that. Skittles aren't that good. Skittles are usually an accident. They're like in a free bag of something, and I go, oh, yeah, I'll eat it.
Nice.
Yeah. Or I'll find them in my golf bag.
Totally.
Mom, do you have any food? Should I have these? And I'm like, well, all right. That'll do. This is crazy. There's a guy in Wales, James Howells. He accidentally threw away 8,000 Bitcoins. Even with the dive in Bitcoin value, they are now worth 181 million. I'm going to tell you how he did it. And this is how he thinks he's going to get them back.
Oh, man.
I don't know if I would do all this. I might just have to accept it as an accident.
Okay.
To move on with your life.
It's a big accident.
It's a huge accident.
Yeah.
But he probably didn't pay that much for him back in the day.
True.
You know? He probably spent $5,000 if he's one of the very first people, and that's without any 1 minute. Anyway, his life changed when he threw out a hard drive about the size of an iPhone 6. Howells from the city of Newport in southern Wales had 2 identical hard drives squirreled away in a drawer in 2013. One was blank. He says the other contained 8,000 Bitcoins, now worth 181, even after the recent crypto crash, which, by the way, it's fine. I check it every day. It's like a casino on my phone. He meant to throw out the blank one, but instead the drive containing the cryptocurrency ended up going to the local dump in a garbage bag. Well, I don't know how you bought it back then, but it should still be on an exchange if you have your password.
Right.
I don't know. This was way before I got involved, so I don't know. 9 years later, he's determined to get his stash back, which he mined in, he mined it in 2009. Oh, he mined it. Oh my God. Oh, he didn't buy it. He owned, he's 36 years old. He's hoping local authorities will let him stage a high-tech treasure hunt for the buried coins. The problem is he can't get into the dump. For almost a decade, Newport City Council denied his request for the dig for his hard drive, saying it would be expensive and environmentally damaging, but he is not deterred. Mm-hmm. He gave insiders a first look at his new $11 million proposal. He's willing to spend $11 million, backed by venture capital funding. So somebody believes he'll find it. Wow. He's going to search up to 110,000 tons of trash. 100,000 tons of garbage. He hopes presenting it to the council in the coming weeks will persuade it to let him try to recover the hard drive. It might seem like a Herculean task. But he's a former IT worker. He says he believes it's achievable through a combination of human sorters. No. I don't want to go back to trash from 2009.
You don't want to go back to trash that you threw out today.
Yeah, but I have. I mean, I could go out to, if it's in the trash can now before Tuesday, I can go out there. A combination of human sorters, robot dogs, and an artificial intelligence-powered machine trained to look for hard drives on a conveyor belt. His plan has 2 versions based on how much of the landfill the council will allow him to search. By estimates, the most expensive option would take 3 years and involve scouring 100,000 metric tons or about 110,000 tons of garbage at the cost of $11 million. The scaled-down version would cost $6 million, take 18 months. Well, here's how I feel. If we're doing it, we're doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to search half the trash.
Right.
No. He's assembled a team of 8 experts specializing in areas including AI, power sorting, landfill excavation, waste management, and data extraction, including one advisor who worked for the company that recovered data from the black box of the crashed Columbia space shuttle. Jesus, this guy ain't messing around. He has security plans, fearing people may try to dig up the hard drive themselves. How would you even know what it looked like? There's the robot dog.
Right.
Well, good luck, James.
Bye.
I would just have to let that go and go. I mined some Bitcoins. They were worth a lot. I lost them. They didn't cost me nothing.
Right.
I'm still even. But now he's become, clearly, I mean, I understand it's a lot of money, but now he's obsessed with it and he's going to start doing crazy things. I don't know. I hope he finds them. All right, everybody complaining it's too hot?
Yes.
Are you hot? Well, guess when it was hotter? 1936.
What?
Yeah. I was reading about the heat wave.
Oh, wow.
It was 1936, so that's way before any of us normal people, maybe the uber rich, I don't know, had any kind of air conditioning. It was the most severe heat wave in modern history of North America. It took place in the middle of the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl of the 30s and caused catastrophic human suffering and an enormous economic toll. The death toll exceeded 5,000 people, and a huge number of crops were destroyed by the heat and lack of moisture. Many state and city record high temperatures set during the 36 heat wave stood until the summer of 2012. That heat wave. It doesn't even seem like we have heat waves anymore. It's just, this is how we live. This is just summer now, where it's 102 in St. Louis, like for a lot of days. It was, I don't know.
Forever.
And then the 1936 heat wave was followed by one of the coldest winters on record.
Jesus.
Yeah, not a good year.
No.
Wikipedia did an okay job with this, but they didn't really. It was over 5,000 people suffered from heat stroke and heat exhaustion, particularly the elderly. Unlike today, air conditioning was in the early stages of development and therefore absent from houses and commercial buildings. Many of the deaths occurred in high population density cities, areas of Chicago, Detroit, St. Louis, Milwaukee, Cleveland. Ooh, the Midwest was the worst. Oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, shoot, buddy. So just when you start complaining, could be 1936, you'd be sitting there, maybe a fan, if you were
Blowing hot air all over.
just blowing hot air everywhere. Yeah. All right. Well, 2 things before. I'm going to close out with this story because I like it. So I started watching on Netflix The Most Hated Man on the Internet. And I do hate him. And I'm not even done with the show. And I love the mother that's the real mom in the show. It was her daughter, because these girls didn't send their naked pictures. They were hacked. One girl, okay, but this is just my generation. I can't imagine sitting in my room taking pictures of myself topless and then emailing to myself. What are we doing?
Just in case.
But I know the children, they don't have problems with it. So she didn't post them. It turns out a lot of these girls did not post them. And he had a site, I never even heard about this, called Is Anyone Up? I mean, clearly I was not awake. I was not up. Never even heard of it. But it was a big thing. But it turns out he was stealing those photos. So it's one thing if you posted them yourself out there in no man's land, and that's kind of on you. But these girls didn't do this. And then there's a girl in there that got famous, butthole girl, for shoving different items in her butt. And the way she talks about it, though, is so matter of fact that it's I can't stop being alarmed. I know she acts like it's totally normal. Because then I was like, well, if this is what I'm famous for, I'm going to have to think of more things to put in my butt. And, like, she's not laughing. No. Or not embarrassed.
It's horrifying.
No. So, you know, that lady.
She's looking at your can right now going, well.
A little bit that's on you, ma'am. But boy, do you end up hating the guy. Cause he's like, but see, I could have seen Paris Hilton doing it. There's Perez Hilton, not Paris Hilton. Perez, the TMZ, whatever, the guy with that, he was evil. The ones that just go out there and look for bad things to post about people, and they don't ever feel bad. They have no morality. They have no sense of empathy. They have nothing. They're just sociopaths on the run. And this mom, though, wait till when you watch the show, she doesn't look familiar at all. But then they're going to say, here's where you might remember the mom from. And you're like, oh, that was that lady. Oh, my God. I give her points for what she did in the past, too. She didn't hurt anybody. She got into a lot of top secret places, though, with no problem.
Really?
Oh, met presidents, went to A-list parties in that Los Angeles. But now mom is married to this British guy, and they live in Woodland Hills, which is the suburbs of California. And he's a lawyer. He goes, well, I tell them, just simply forget about it. It'll move on. And the mother's like, I was like, Bill, her topless photos are on this website. And then the asshole guy, he wouldn't just put your photo up. Stevie was falling over. He would put your Facebook page, your phone number, where you worked, all this information that was terribly violating. It's just, anyway, it's a great little show. I think there's 3 episodes. I really get a kick out of the mom's tenacity, though, because it was certainly something to take on. And then you have to take on all his people, his little minions that are attacking you, saying, don't fuck with the family, and we're going to hurt you, bitch, and all these horrible things that I'd be like, oh, my God. Right. The other show that I really like, my friend Nancy, my Missouri friend Nancy, who lived now in Nashville, she told me to watch, was First Ladies on Showtime. And it's so good. It's called First Ladies, but here's who plays. It's every... I took a screenshot. Hold on. Viola Davis plays Michelle Obama. She's great. Jillian, is it Anderson? Anderson. She plays Eleanor Roosevelt. They did put a weird prosthetic in her mouth, but it still works great. Right. And I think the best out of them all is Michelle Pfeiffer plays Betty Ford.
Really?
Yeah. And it's
I haven't seen it.
great. And you're going to... You know, sadly, a lot of us just remember Betty Ford being hammered with that Barbara Walters interview deal. But you really end up liking Betty Ford. She's very ballsy. Yeah, well, I like all of them. But Michelle Pfeiffer looks a lot like her. It's weird. Not the hair. They put the wig on and all that stuff. But anyway, that's a fun little show. If you want something to watch, that's what I'm watching. Moving on. This is the American who invented buffalo wings and disrupted the entire chicken industry. I have actually stood by her statue. If her statue is life-size, she was also only 5 foot tall. Teresa Bellissimo. This is the lady. She inspired a delicious all-American bar food phenomenon. The lace restaurateur cooked the first batch of buffalo wings, the most iconic of all barroom bites, by happenstance one winter night in 1964. God damn, I'm the same age as a buffalo wing.
Chicken wing.
It's a chicken wing.
Good for you.
Her invention soon upended an entire multi-million-dollar sector of American agriculture. The nation is delighted with teary eyes and soft-soaked fingers over since a small band of barflies savored those first bites of spicy chicken limbs in New York nearly 60 years ago. Americans consume an incredible 27 billion chicken wings per year. There's no doubt that her creation changed the course of American food industry. Buffalonians I didn't know they were referred to as Buffalonians.
Buffalonians. How lovely.
Nothing beats Calgarians.
Calgarians.
People from Calgary, because it sounds like Star Trek.
Yeah.
To the deck. The Calgarians are taking over. Someone tell Worf. Report. The Buffalonians, they sound fun. The Calgarians sound like they could attack your ass at any given. The Buffalonians are coming. Sounds like a party.
Cool.
Right. They take a tremendous part of chefs. Few cities in the world can claim they have the entire flavor named after them, meaning Buffalo Wings. Well, we have St. Louis ribs. She was born in Sicily in 1900, Teresa Guzza Bellissimo. With her husband Frank, opened a bar by the shores of Lake Erie in 1935, hence the name Anchor Bar, which still exists to this day and is absolutely fun. Later, it moved to its current Main Street location. That's one I've been in 1940. So it's been sitting there for a very long time. Still thriving today. Anchor Bar boasts 16 locations across the United States and Canada in the midst of the franchise expansion. I don't know about that. The original one attracts gastro tourists from around the world. It's a moment that changed the course of culinary history. The night of March 4th, 1964. Her husband was tending bar when some of his friends came in late. She was preparing food for the following day. At the time, they would take the wings of the chicken and juice, use them for soup or whatever. She had decided, because she didn't have anything else, that she'd deep fry the wings. She made her own sauce and tossed the wings in the sauce. As we always say, the rest is history. The guys liked them so much they put them on the menu. Served with celery and blue cheese sauce, buffalo wings were an instant hit. Chicken wings in the 60s were considered peasant food or even trash.
Whoa.
Still kind of not really good for you. Or even trash noted. Drew Cerza dubbed the Wing King by Chef Bobby Flay after beating the Irishman. Yeah, who cares? The advent of buffalo wings made chicken waste a national treasure. Chicken wings became a profit center for the poultry companies. Americans have become painfully aware of the tender dynamic of the chicken market during COVID. Our insatiable appetite for hot wings, our inability to dine out, forced a dramatic spike in takeout and delivery orders. They were in high demand, blah, blah, blah. That's about it. They don't say when she died. I don't know what happened. Well, maybe. I got one page left. No. But if you ever go to Buffalo,
What's her name?
we'll put it in the schmaltz. It's spelled Teresa. It's not spelled like Teressa. Last name Bellissimo. Bellissimo. Yeah. That's just a nice little story to end on, termites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Southern cooking, it says.
Last little thing, and I'm just going to say it for any golf fans out there, especially the ones who sent the shoes. I am not in favor of the LIV Golf Tour. We don't need to get into all the reasons why. I'm in favor of the PGA. Never thought I would have to defend them because I think they have some issues too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. However, the tournament this weekend in New York, this is how few people are showing up. The tickets were $1 on StubHub, $1, and they couldn't get people out there. They said the most of a gallery they had was 150 people following Dustin, because mainly, if you look at the guys that have jumped ship, they're mid-40s. It's like the new senior tour. There's a few younger ones, but they're always the hurt guys, or a cheater, Patrick Reed. Brooks is always hurt. Dustin's the only one that I still think could really kick it up in the PGA. I think the rest of them, I'm like, really, Henrik Stenson, you're like 47. I mean, stop. But the problem is, even whether you disagree or agree with the LIV Tour, if you are a golf fan, you do not want to spend money, I don't, to go out and watch basically a charity golf tournament. No thanks. Unless it's real celebrities that are fun. You throw Bill Murray's out there and stuff like that. Charles Barkley's not going. He was thinking about it. I'm like, you're going to give up TNT? But then I thought maybe he's tired of basketball. He has been doing it his whole life. Right. Maybe he just wants to go have fun. But if no one's listening, it's not on television. Right. Even if they get a deal, I have an inside friend who said that maybe they would get a deal like with Amazon or Netflix. First of all, Netflix has no sports at all. Maybe Amazon would do it, but is that going to be on in your local bar on weekends? No. And then the other problem is all of the PGA has a personality problem, because 90% of them are boring, and now you've divided the boring people. I got a bunch of boring people, but these are more like the douchebag, leftovers, those people, and live. And then, but the guys on the PGA, I mean, they're great golfers, and I'll watch because I just love to watch golf, a shot of golf, but they're not exactly personality driven.
Are you ready for fantasy football?
I am not ready for fantasy football, but I know Tommy Salami, my favorite quarterback of all time, even though I'm not even from anywhere around New England. He's got so many great receivers now. I don't even know why other people are signing up this year. You should just stay home and get the NFL package. And if I was on another team, I'd go, I'll just watch. Because although I did hear that the center for Tampa Bay got hurt, a big, humongous white guy, that redheaded Viking-looking thing, and he was really good. And he's out for like 2 months. So they're going to have to go find, you got to have somebody right in front of Tommy that really knows what they're doing to make sure his golden arm doesn't get touched. Salami. I just love it. It's out. I'm already catching shit. Are you going to pick him again as your quarterback? Yes. Unless somebody's an asshole and takes him from me because they know I want him. In which case, I'll take Patrick Mahomes and just cry quietly. Well, he gets a lot of points every week.
You know, Patrick, he does a really good job out there. Yeah, I don't know. My brother posts a lot of crazy things online. Just ignore that if you can. Anyway, really looking forward to the Kansas City Chiefs season.
Teresa died at 84.
She died at 84. I wonder if she ate wings.
November 1985.
She probably was like my grandma and knew it was garbage and couldn't believe people were eating it.
She loved it. No, she said it was her favorite food. She's a bazillionaire for doing it.
Yeah. All right, termites. Be helpful, termites. Helpful hamsters. Vegas, here I come. It's going to be a little hot. That's all right. It won't be hot in the video poker bar. That's when people are like, dude, I was going to go see my friend Brad Williams in the Mad Apple show at New York, but they don't work on Wednesday and Thursday. So, right. Brad, wait, you're taking off on a hot night. Why is that show not up on Thursday nights? Anyway, when people always go, oh my God, there's so many shows in Vegas. Have you seen this? Have you seen that? My standard answer is, are there video poker machines inside that showroom?
Right.
Then no, I haven't seen that show. For the most part. I'd go see it because I love Brad. And I bet it's good because they finally figured out there's a million things in the show. Like, I don't like magic. For the record, there's some magicians that I like. They're, I'm friends with, but I'm never going to pay to see magic. So the Mad Apple, I think it's called at New York, where Brad is in, they have a little bit of everything. Great idea. Like an old-timey variety show. Like, I don't mind juggling for a little bit. Great. But I don't want to watch an hour of it. I don't want to see an hour of magic. Stand-up depends on who the singer, depends. Dancing, no, not an hour. Nope. But give it 10, mix it all up. I think it's a great idea. Some termite said, I posted a funny clip of Brad. They said they went and saw the show and loved it. So,
Great.
Yeah. Not to tell you to go see Brad instead of me on Friday night. At the Mirage.
Last time.
I'm going to go to the volcano, except, I'm going to go for the 8 o'clock and the 9 o'clock eruption.
I'll be at all eruptions.
Well, I can't be at the 10 o'clock when I'll be working. Show's at 10.
Yeah.
It's a late show. But because Shin Lim is in the showroom before me. He does the early show. It's magic. Yeah, I don't know. His poster's all backstage. I'm like, where'd that... My friend who works there, I'm like, where'd that guy come from? He's like, Kathleen, do you not watch any regular TV? I'm like, no, I don't. America's Got Talent or one of those shows. Yeah, but good for him. He seems very cute. Very cute.
What else you gonna do in Vegas?
I'm going to play video poker.
Okay.
That's it.
What about Margaritaville's closed?
Margaritaville, where I like to sit, they closed that top bar. It was just an outdoor patio, and there was like a service bar. It was just beer. I don't know why that was so hard. I don't know why.
Find another one.
Somebody call Jimmy Buffett. Tell him to open it again. I'll find it. It's too hot. It's too hot to sit outside. It's just too hot. All right, termites. That's enough of my rambling. Next week is episode 100. All right, we'll see you then. Night, night, termites.